During this Lenten season, our meditation chapels invite us to explore something many of us have learned to avoid: darkness. For many of us, darkness has come to mean absence, absence of light, an absence of safety, or sometimes even an absence of God. We learn early to associate light with goodness and darkness with fear, or perhaps light with clarity and darkness with uncertainty. And over time, this can quietly shape how we experience our own lives, especially the moments that feel unclear, hidden, or unknown. But the spiritual traditions invite us to see more deeply. In Genesis, we are told that before creation takes form, darkness covered the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered there. And in Psalm 139, we hear another reminder: even the darkness is not dark to you. The night shines like the day. God is not absent from the darkness. God is present within it. The seed grows in darkness. A child begins life in the darkness of the womb. Much of what transforms us does its work where we cannot yet see. Spiritual teacher Jim Finley speaks about this in his podcast, Turning to the Mystics, in an episode reflecting on the wisdom of the cloud of unknowing. He describes sitting with the setting sun, allowing himself to simply be present as the light fades, and recognizing that even as the sun disappears from sight, it has not ceased to shine. And in that moment, he speaks of sensing himself held by God in the setting sun and also in the coming darkness. That insight stayed with me. Earlier this year, while attending a silent centering prayer retreat at the Bellarmine Jesuit Center, I found myself sitting alone in a quiet parlor just before sunset. The lights were off. Outside the window stretched a frozen, snow-covered field. As the sun lowered, its light reflected across the snow, giving it a soft, almost pale blue glow. I hadn't gone there intending to do an exercise. I was simply sitting. And then I remembered Jim's invitation to sit with the setting sun. I realized I was already there, already in that moment. So I stayed. Minutes passed slowly. As the light began to fade, the colors softened. The room dimmed almost imperceptibly. There was no sudden change, only a gentle surrender of light into dusk, and dusk into darkness. What surprised me most was what did not happen. There was no fear. There was no sadness. There was no sense of absence. Instead, there was a peace, a quiet comfort, almost as if the darkness itself was holding me, the way soil holds a seed, and yes, a womb holds new life. The sun had disappeared from view, but it had not gone anywhere, and neither had God. I sat there for nearly an hour, not trying to make something happen, not trying to interpret the moment, but simply allowing this experience itself to work on me. During this coming week, we invite you to enter into a similar experience. Choose an evening where you can reserve up to a 90-minute window beginning about 15 minutes before sunset. Find a place where you can sit safely and comfortably, perhaps outside or in a room where the natural light will slowly fade without artificial light taking its place. As the sun sets, simply remain present. Notice the light as it changes. Notice what happens within you as darkness slowly arrives. There is nothing you need to accomplish, no insight you need to reach, no feeling that you need to create. Just remain, allowing yourself to experience what it is like not to think about darkness, but to enter into it. And perhaps to discover that you are not alone there. As you do this, you might hold this simple posture, not trying to make something of the experience, but allowing the experience to make something of you, to sit in the darkness and allow yourself to be held.